Good morning. I am Sonia Camacho, the Director of Courts, and I welcome all of you to the Guma Justicia y Malawiwe House of Justice. Thank you for joining us today for the 2023 Longmonth Proclamation and Resolution Ceremony. The NMI Judiciary, in collaboration with the Judiciary of Guam and the United States District Court for the NMI, along with our leaders in the executive and legislative branches, hold this proclamation ceremony to recognize the rule of law and democratic principles of governance during the month of May. For the first time, the ceremony will be live streamed, featuring simultaneous signings at 5 venues: the Supreme Court of Guam, here in the Supreme Court courtroom at the Guma Justicia, the U.S. District Court in Garapan, Cotintinian, and Rota Central Justicia. We recognize and welcome our Honorable Governor Arnold I. Palacios, Honorable Lieutenant Governor David M. Apatang, Senate President Edith De Leon Guerrero, and members of the CNMI Senate, House Speaker Edmund S. De La Gomez, and members of the CNMI House of Representatives, Justice John Mangonia, Presiding Judge Roberto C. Naraha, Judge Kenneth L. Gavendo, Judge Wesley M. Barton, Mayor of Saipan Ramon Jose D. Camacho, Mayor of the Northern Islands Valentino N. Tyson Jr., CNMI Bar President Charity R. Hudson, Clerk of the Supreme Court Judy T. Ogan, Clerk of the Superior Court Patrick V. Diaz, all judiciary managers and staff, and we thank and welcome KUAM and its regional correspondent Thomas Mangonia II for hosting our online stream, which starts at 11:30 today. We also welcome and thank the CNMI's award-winning Saipan Community Band, their pastor, Stephen Day, Principal Ms. Amanda Don, and instructors Rudy Fruit and Larry Lee. For the welcoming remarks is the Honorable John A. Mangonia, Justice of the Commonwealth Supreme Court.
Thank you, Son. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Guma Justicia and the Supreme Court. Thank you for your presence, Governor Palacios, Lieutenant Governor Apatang, Senate President Edith De Leon Guerrero, and I think we're going to have the speaker with us soon. Saipan Mayor R.B. Camacho and Northern Islands Mayor Valentino Tyson, Presiding Judge Naraha, and CNMI Bar President Charity Hudson, and we have our 2 judges, Judge Gavendo and Judge Weissman. Thank you so much for your presence this morning. We also, as Son mentioned, we have our Susupi neighbors from Saipan Community School, Bad and Ms. Amanda Dunn and the director. Thank you so much. And I see that we have our judiciary leadership team here and the staff. Thank you for joining us. As we see in the program pamphlet, this year's Law Week theme is Cornerstones of Democracy, Civics, Civility, and Collaboration. And this year we're doing something a little different from previous proclamations. Just as background, about 2 months ago, I contacted Chief Justice Robert Torres from the Guam Supreme Court and asked him what he thought about holding concurrent Law Week proclamation signing ceremonies on the 4 main islands of the Marianas. And I guess at the time I was just focused on the one word in the theme, and that is the word collaboration. Anyway, Chief Justice Torres immediately said that we should do it, as we both knew that the courts have the technology, Mike, to make it work. So here we are today, our leaders of the Commonwealth in this courtroom, and Guam's leaders in the Guam Supreme Court courtroom, Chief Justice Castro and Rota's leaders at the Central Justicia, Chief Judge Magnolia in Gualarai in the District Court, Justice Barry Enos and Tinian's local leaders at Cotintinian. So anyway, in all of these 5 courtrooms, the students are observing civics come to life with their leaders. They will observe their leaders practicing civility. They will witness firsthand collaboration among islands, among government leaders and branches and jurisdictions. So anyway, what's going to happen in the next few minutes at 11:30 when KUAM goes live is that We will hear the brief remarks from Chief Justice Torres and Castro and Chief Judge Magnolia. And then the broadcast will shift over to the Guam Judiciary. There, Governor Leon Guerrero, Lieutenant Governor Tenorio, and Speaker Talai will give remarks and sign the proclamations in Guam. Then we shift back here to the Gumastisha, where Governor Palacios and Lieutenant Governor Apatay will give us some short remarks and sign our proclamation. After that, we will go over the broadcasts. We'll go to the U.S. District Court, and then to Rota Central Justicia, and finally to Constantinian for the leaders to sign the proclamations there. But before the broadcast begins, we have our young and future leaders of the Commonwealth here to give us some musical performance to celebrate this momentous occasion. And for those of you who do not know, the SCS band participated in a music festival on Guam, I believe it was last month or February, and they brought back some prizes. So I thank the director, Ruby Free, Principal Benedette, the pastor is here, and Larry Lee, for having the students here. Please enjoy their performance. God Kuluna Suzu Small City.
I encourage everyone in the Commonwealth and in our region to work together to overcome our differences, resolve our disputes, and preserve our democracy and republic. In closing, let me reaffirm our commitment to the rule of law and the principles of democracy. May we uphold the cornerstone of democracy and continue to cherish and protect the values that make our Commonwealth strong and resilient. Thank you, Jesus Marcy, Miliso, and may God bless the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands.
All right, and now I believe we will check. We will now move over to Lieutenant Governor David Apatay.
Good morning. Good morning, dan buenos días para todos y mga kaibigan natin. Dan loki todo hamdun y mga kaibigan duta ng buwan. Governor Palacios and I want to give the Northern Mariana Islands Judiciary of the Superior Court and Supreme Court, a big thank you for inviting me to this very special occasion to witness a part of this Law Week proclamation signing ceremony. Governor Palacios and I want to welcome the Honorable Luis Guerrero, Governor of Guam, and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, Lieutenant Governor of Guam, who are joining us this morning virtually, and this is the wonders of technology. Mr. Chief Justice Alexandro Castro, Mr. Associate Justice John Manglonia, and Mr. Associate Justice Perry Enos, Jules Mossi, and thank you for having me join you also this morning. In the same manner to Jules Mossi, and thank you to Presiding Judge Robert Naraha, Judges Joe Camacho, Kenneth Gubendo, Teresa King, and Wes Bookman for welcoming me to be part of this morning's ceremony also. This year's Law Week theme is democracy, civics, civility, and collaboration, a theme that the American Bar Association adopted. Mr. Associate Justice Manglonia offered me this opportunity to give a brief remark this morning, and I'm trying to think how to say something about democracy and be brief about it. I knew the task was going to be a difficult one. I mean, how can one say something about democracy in brevity and still deliver substance of it? But after much consideration, I think I can say a lot and still be brief at it, since, in my opinion, Mr. Associate Justice Manglonia did not define the word brief, and I can say the word was ambiguous. My interpretation may be subject to appeal. The bedrock of our political, social, and economic system is democracy. Democracy is far and wide-ranging in its effect, and it is not in isolation. Democracy, I believe, is alive and well in any place in the continental United States of America, its territories and possessions. Other countries that enjoy peace, free access to opportunities to flourish, the unrestrained expression of ideas, practices, and beliefs, among many others. Iraq discord things from healthy humanity and democracy. Respect for democracy is critical in the preservation of human dignity. In our modern day and age, we have become, in my opinion, more liberal in how each of us express ourselves, how each of us identify ourselves, how each of us associate with one another, with whom to associate, where to live, how to live, who to include, and etc. Without democracy, these choices we have mean nothing. We live in a peaceful environment and thrive in it because each of us owes the other mutual respect. The rule of respect, that is civility, requires us to give space to others, to listen to other fellow men, concur or defer with the opinions of others in urban manner. And maybe most importantly, to see one another as persons, not as objects. Even in today's political, social, and economic environment, criticism is prevalent about one's choice to express himself or herself openly on a subject he or she is passionate about, regardless whether the expression genuinely reflects the sentiment of the day. You know, in our present day, we hear about someone being canceled, be it based on true or falsehood. A person or an institution can be subject of being canceled. But even this new hype we know as cancel culture, I think there is some hint of respect in it all. There, I think, is where our democracy is louder than anything else for civility, even in the midst of disagreement. And canceling keeps us all in check. Thank you, and I wait for the opinion of the court whether my remarks this morning was brief. Thank you to this motion.
Great, thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor, and I believe now we'll sign the proclamation here in the CMI. All right, a
And
round of
while
applause for
we're
our
signing the
audience
proclamation
here in the CNMI.
just give me an opportunity to introduce the other distinguished guests who are here in addition to the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the speaker. First of all, from the Judiciary of Guam, we have Justice F. Philip Carbolito, Justice Catherine Merriman, Judge Dana Gutierrez, Judge John Terlahi, Magistrate Judge Michael Bordallo, and we have the Senator Tello Taidigui and Senator Jesse Lujan. We also have the Administrator of the Courts, Danielle Rossetti, and U.S. Attorney Sean Brown.
Now we'll move to Gualarai, where Chief Judge Ramona Mangonia is at the U.S. District Court for the NMI.
Thank you, Jamal. It is truly a pleasure for the District Court to hold the first ever Law Week proclamation ceremony at our local courthouse. In prior years, Magistrate Judge Heather L. Kennedy and I have joined the CMI Judiciary at the Judiciary. And so we are certainly honored to celebrate this important event with the rest of the Judiciary in the Americana from here. This week, she and I, as well as our court staff, are joined by some high school students. And from Marinette High School, we have the Rhythm and Harmony Glee Club, who just beautifully sang both the national and CMI anthems, open up our ceremony this morning, as well as a member of their high school mock trial team, who happens to be the reigning 2023 CMI High School mock trial champ. So here she is. This is Ms. Anastasia Kamaneva. And we also have another student from Saipan Southern High School. We have mock trial member and graduating senior Mr. Matthew Sutherland. So welcome. And from the legal community, we have Assistant U.S. Attorney Mr. Albert S. Forrest Jr., who is assisted by reading proclamation, as well as Ms. Ashley Pop. Morning, Pop. And representing the defense bar is Mr. Robert P. Forrest. Robert P. Forrest, a Criminal Justice Act panel member. And last but not least, we have our Ninth Circuit lawyer representative, Ms. Nicole M. Forrest Ripple. And in the gallery, we have Mr. Michael White, who's been a long time member of the CMI Bar, and I recognize him as the APA representative for the CMI Bar for his record that it was a decade, but he said 9 years. I think it sounds like it. So it's really nice that he's here in person to celebrate this event that is really a big one for the APA. And in addition, we do have some of our federal law enforcement officers here. From the U.S. Marshal Services, we have the Chief Deputy, Daniel Hyde, joined by the ever-present Port Security Officer, here to my right. And from the U.S. Probation Office, we have our probation officers, Officer Gregory Ariola and one David Atherton with the staff. And so welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us. This year, we started our Law Day related activities a little early. Just the other day, the District Court hosted the CMI Bar Association's continuing legal education session on ethics in hotel here at our Free Assembly Room. And today we're kicking off our District Court's third annual photo contest based on the APA's Law Day theme. The photo contest complements the Ninth Circuit Civics contest in the video and essay category that just closed this month at the District Court level. And so the contest will culminate with the Ninth Circuit-wide winners being recognized at the Ninth Circuit Conference to be held this summer in Portland, Oregon. And then to start off Law Week itself, we will be holding a naturalization ceremony here on May 1st. And we'll continue with the Judges in the Classroom program that started with District Judge Dave Carter. The Central District of California is visiting Kenyon junior and senior high school students this last month. And we will end the month of May with an award ceremony for the winners of our civics and photo contest. Second, encourage collaboration, build partnerships, and demonstrate respect for one another in the spirit of this year's Law 18. And so at this time, Magistrate Judge Heather L. Kennedy and I will sign the District Court's proclamation. Now therefore, we hereby sign hereby jointly proclaim May 1st to the 5th of 2023 as Law Week in the Commonwealth. And we urge everyone to observe this week by practicing the virtues of civility and collaboration, and by dedicating themselves to civic responsibility. And in witness thereof, we have here unto us that our hands is 21st day of April in the year 2022. Thank you. Please, Martha, can you please, go forward?
Thank you to those in the U.S. District Court for the NMI. Now we will head over to the island of Luta, where they will sign their proclamations.
Siguro sumama si Judge Mona Manlonia. It's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce for their signatures Mayor Aubrey M. Hokuk and the Chairman of the Rota Legislative Delegation, Senator Donald Manlonia. Mayor.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good morning, distinguished guests and members of the public. I am truly honored to be here today to be part of this prestigious signing ceremony to highlight the importance of our judicial system and the rule of law. Our forefathers have allowed us, the people of the Commonwealth and in our region, to carry forward the dream of creating a society that ensures social, economic, and political justice for all citizens. By being here today, we play our part to dedicate and recognize our civic responsibility as American citizens that come from various ethnic backgrounds, promoting our unique cultural practices and beliefs, the beauty of a diverse population in support of living the American dream. It is with great pride that we join forces to celebrate this historic occasion with our leaders from all branches of the federal government, the executive, judicial, and legislative branch, from all across the Mariana chain of islands of Saipan, Rota, Tinian, and Guam. And celebrating with us with our children from Nepal Elementary School, our students from Dr. Rita Hokuk Enos Junior Senior High School, our leaders of Rota, and members of the public, including one of the sons of Rota who presently sits as the Chief Justice for the Commonwealth or the CNMI Supreme Court, the Honorable Alexandra Castro. I'd also like to recognize the significant achievements of Chief Justice Castro and his colleagues, the Associate Justice Perry Enos and his Associate Justice John Lonia, all who serve in the CNMI Supreme Court and all who are from our beautiful island of Luta. I'd also like to thank and give praise to all those who serve as judges, lawyers, clerks, marshals, and all others in the judicial system around the world, but most especially here in our great Commonwealth. Thank you for your service, and I hope that some of our children present in this courtroom today will one day aspire to be a judge, a lawyer, or a member of our court system, advocating for justice and equality. We will be forever grateful for our unalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And by the authority vested in me as mayor for the NMI Constitution and the people of the NMI, I set my hands here onto this 21st day of April in 2023, and along with the undersigned, hereby declare May 1st through May 5th as Law Week in the Commonwealth.
Thank you, Mayor Hokuk. Good morning to everyone present here today at the Rota Central Justicia. To our brothers and sisters up north and down south. The Rota Legislative Delegation comprised of Senator Dennis James Mendiola, Senator Paul Manlonia, Representative Julie Ogle, and I, along with the Rota Mayor and our 19th Rota Municipal Council members, are honored to partake in this historic event And we join the rest of the Marianas in recognizing Law Week in the Commonwealth and Law Month on Guam. And so with that, by the authority vested in me as chairman, and by the laws and the people of the NMI, I set my hands hereunto this 21st day of April in the year 2023. And along with the undersigned, I hereby declare May 1st through May 5th as Law Week in the Commonwealth.
Thank you, Mayor Hokuk and Chairman Senator Donald Maglonia. Now we will turn our attention over to the island of Tinian, where we will be joined at the Koten Tinian by Justice Enos and Mayor Edwin Aldan, along with their viewing in-person audience.
Thank you, Tomas, and thank you, Chief Justice Castro, Mayor Hokuk, and Chairman Maglonia. After until 1 evening in Tinian. Joining me in this table, in Tinian are the entire leadership of the Tinian legislative delegation and the municipal council members. This is indeed a historic day for our islands. Today we gather to celebrate the values that underlie the democracy and our system of government based on the rule of law. Observing Law Day has been a tradition for the judiciary, going as far back as the trust territory era. Our historical archives reveal that in May of 1969, then Judge Benavente of the Trust Territory Court, he delivered a speech to the elementary and junior high school students on the island of Lora on the importance of Law Day. The topic that year was justice and equality depends upon the law and you. Now, we have many activities lined up for Law Week. We have the judges and the justices that have been visiting the various elementary, junior and high schools throughout the Marianas, Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. We have the Saipan Southern High School students who will be touring Gumaustisha this afternoon. The essay and poster contest awards and attorney admissions will be on May 1st. There will be a mock trial scrimmage on May 3rd at Gumaustisha. We also have a graduation, drop for graduation on May 4th. The Attorney General's Cup, a speech competition, that will be on May 5th. And the coveted Ampu takeover day as justice and judge will be scheduled for May 12th. We will be very busy for the month of May. Now I'm going to call upon the Honorable Mayor Edwin Aldan to make his remarks.
Thank you, Justice Enos. Afternoon, and good morning to all. I want to begin by recognizing also the presence of our Tinian junior high students that are here participating on this historical event. To the leadership of Tinian, RDH's, mayor's office staff, and the community members, thank you for coming to this historical event again this morning. Welcome and thank you for all to this event, highlighting the importance of rule of law. We are gathered here today to proclaim the Law Week in the Commonwealth and Guam. As a nation, we value the idea that everyone, regardless of age or stature, must follow the rules of law. This year's Law Day theme is Cornerstones of Democracy. Civics, Civility, and Collaboration. Civics is about understanding our rights and obligations as citizens, including the freedom of speech and religion guaranteed by the Constitution. Civility is about treating others with respect, even when we disagree. Collaboration means working together for the good of our island. Together, this concept reminds us that we are one Marianas, from Guam in the southern island to Fire on the Palms in the north. As we continue to work together to improve civics, civility, and collaboration, let us ensure that Guam and the Marianas, the Commonwealth, have a bright future ahead. Thank you. May God bless Guam, God bless the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Okay. By By the authority vested in me as mayor, by the laws and the people of the island, I set my hands hereunto this 21st day of April in the year 2023, and along with the undersigned, hereby declare May 1st to May 5th as Law Week in the Commonwealth.
All right.
Back to you, Tomas.
Thank you so much to our friends and family over in Tinian. That concludes our ceremony, our proclamation ceremony. Again, a historic first for our Marianas and the Judiciary. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to the staff behind the scenes on Guam, Tinian, Luta, and Saipan who made this live stream and event possible. This stream will be made available to view on KUAM after the event. Please stay tuned to the Judiciary social media pages as well for all the upcoming Law Week related events. Have a great day, and let's give a round of applause for this historic event. All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all for joining us today. And before we close, we'd like to also recognize the presence of Representative Vicente Camacho and Representative Marissa Flores, who joined us today for this celebration. Please give a nice round of applause for Tomas Maglonia and KUM News for hosting our online stream. The Saipan Community School students and instructors for the beautiful performance. And the Northern Marianas Judiciary Historical Society for their support of our event today. And thank you to all of our judiciary personnel who help us carry out the interests of justice. Thank you, everybody. And if I can just have the students please join us on the bench for a group photo.